Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another FPL Team Week selection video. I'm super excited because we're finally back after so many game weeks. And you can see I have a little guest with me. He doesn't want to leave my side. So you're going to get to see the little Archie, okay, as well during this video. But Yelena, we're finally back. How's it going?
It's going well. I've missed doing these so much, and it's so nice to have Archie with us today as well for some insight because I feel like you and I don't really know what we're doing at the moment.
I know. He's just going to be looking at our teams and judging them. So if anybody
Yeah.
wants me to judge their team, let us know. So in this video, we're going to go through a super brief recap of Game Week 21 and just what's been going on with our teams, go through our game so you need a replacement with a fun twist that we've put in there today, and then go through the big talking point Game Week 22 team selection, who you've got. I know I definitely need some therapy to talk to through my teams. So let's get into it. So, oh, this isn't supposed to happen. Oops. Okay,
I was going
here
to
we
say
go.
we're going straight in.
Going straight in. No. So this is my Game Week 21 team. I got a red arrow this week. I'm sitting just inside the top million now, so I was a bit bummed out because I had made like a really good comeback and I was kind of flying, and now I've gotten 2 red arrows in a row. I was 1 point off the average, but not having Darwin or Gabrielle Charlison really killed me in this game week. My defense surprisingly did pretty well. And then my captain pick has also kind of screwed me over the past 2 game weeks. I wanted to do something different, so I captained Foden. I was sadly between captaining Palmer and Foden, and I went for Foden. I was never sold on the Saka captaincy. But yeah, the captain just hasn't worked out for me. So it was a disappointing game week for me. But Yelena, you did much better than I did. So walk us through your game week.
I just got lucky really with having Darwin, keeping hold of him, and then him getting 2 goals. Because I feel like this week, if you didn't have Darwin, Jota, or Gabrielle, you were really struggling. Because I saw some people this week got 100 points, 80 points, 63. I was a bit nervous about, and then it was enough for a green arrow. It wasn't a massive green arrow, but I'd been going the opposite. You were just flying through the ranks, and I was steadily going down, and now I'm kind of making my comeback. But I was pleased with the team. I brought in, you're going to hate me for my pronunciation because I always say it wrong, Estupinian?
Yeah,
Estupinian?
that's good.
It will do. I'm really glad I brought him in. He obviously got the 2 bonus points and kept a clean sheet. I was hoping for an attacking return, but I will take the clean sheet because my defense has been awful recently. I took a risk playing Trent. Obviously, he wasn't in the squad, so I got Trippier in from the bench. Saliba, you obviously are also a Saliba owner, and weren't you just kicking yourself during that match?
The thing is, like, I'm super upset because at the beginning of the season, I went Gabriel when nobody else went for him. And then
Yeah.
Saliba was the one who had off the returns. And so I got
Yeah.
like screwed by not having him. And then now it's the opposite. And I was like, it's literally like twice that it happened to me. I was just like, I can't win. But yeah, so I
Archie
was.
can't even look at you right now. And then my midfield, I am annoyed because I like looking at stats. I think they're interesting. And when I've got a 50-50 decision, they'll kind of sway me. But I had my captaincy on Palmer, and then I went to Saka because Palace's defensive data was so poor. And I thought, actually, no, I'm going to go for that. Obviously, Arsenal won. Was it 9-0? 9-0, 5-0. But Saka had no involvement whatsoever. And then the one assist he did have, it turned out it was actually an own goal by Henderson. So it was a really frustrating match and kind of classic FPL. But the only captaincy option I would have gone for would have been Palmer. So that would have been a nice extra 10 points, but it's fine. And then Gordon is just my safety net. I absolutely love owning him. He got 7 points. And then Richarlison, I'm really pleased with 2. And I've seen quite a few people are now bringing him in and taking out Son, obviously, while Son's off. So I feel quite confident that I'm a step ahead with that one, but I don't know how long he's going to last in my team, especially Maddison's coming back. And I don't know, Richarlison, I think he's safe for now, but the minute Son comes back, I think I'm going to have to get rid of Richarlison.
I know, I'm looking at your team and it's like pretty similar to the team that I think I want to get to, or somebody's tired. Or you have a couple of players that I really want to get in, and I feel like I'm behind a couple of transfers already. So that kind of brings us to our replacement, our game. The little change that we made is that we had to pick a player that was in the top 5 sold for the game week. So we had to try to find a replacement within that. So there's a little bit more constraint to the game. So if you guys are saying, hey, this is super obvious, that's why. So Yelena, talk us through your pick.
So this is coming from my experience of I really want to bring in Foden to my team, and he's one of those players that scares me every single game week. But with Haaland back in training, he's not playing against Spurs, I don't think. We don't know when he's going to return, but I need an easy route to get him. Now, if I was to bring Foden to the midfield, I wouldn't be able to afford Haaland, and it would have to be a -8 probably to get him. So I was looking at Bernardo Silva, and I was really surprised by how well he's doing this year and how low his ownership is. So he's got 89 points and Foden's ahead with 98, but Silva is cheaper at 6.5 million and Foden's 8 million. His ownership's only 5.7%. He's had 6 goals and 4 assists this season. So I'm hoping he's kind of my like secret one that I can bring into my team. I mean, this is a spoiler for my team selection because I'm looking to bring in Silva. But I just really, really like him as an asset. City are looking really good. They've got a double coming up. I think it's the way to go. And I know you've got De Bruyne, and there is no doubting that he's explosive. Obviously, he came on off the bench, got a goal and an assist in his returning game. He's an amazing player. But his fitness concerns me a bit and his price point as well. So I think Bernardo Silva is the way to go.
I know the reason why I put it, well, we have 5 players to choose from in the potential that are going to well, I'm not speaking English. We have 5 players to choose from the top transfers out this game week: Salah, Son, Bowen, Trent, and Holland. And I didn't want to go for Bowen and I didn't want to go for Trent. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for Salah, and I need a midfielder to replace him. I could have gone for Richarlison as well, honestly, or Gordon.
But you've got all that money to play around with. You may as well go for the top one.
I know. So the thing with KDB, I kind of have my eye on him, but I have the same concerns as you do, that the minutes could be an issue. But I looked at City's fixtures and they do look quite good. So I'll just read them off for you guys. Burnley, Brentford, Everton, and then they have a double in game week 25 with Chelsea and Brentford, and then Bournemouth. So I really like the fixtures, and I'm curious to see like how long it's going to take him to start starting games. It might be like a game week too early for me, but he's definitely somebody that I have on my list. And what do you think about Ivan Toney? Came back, bagged a goal too early for him.
This feels like the longest game week in the world. So we obviously had De Bruyne returning. Who else did we have that came back after a while? I can't remember. There was a player in the first weekend of the game week, and they both had these amazing starts. And obviously, De Bruyne coming in off the bench and doing that, I was like, "What is Ivan Toney going to do against Forest? Their defense isn't that good." And then I thought, is this a really, really obvious move to bring him in for his first game back and captain him? And I was really debating it. And I thought, no, I don't think I necessarily want him long term. I want to see what his fitness is like. So him coming away with 1 goal, it was expected. There's controversy around the goal because he did move the ball. But it wasn't as much as I was like anticipating. I really thought he was going to have a hat-trick in that game. So I was really excited by Toney. And now I'm kind of like, he's there. But I don't think, maybe on a wild card, I might bring him in. But I'm not as eager, I guess. What are your views on him?
Yeah, for me it's a bit of a hold or like a wait and see as well, especially at the price point. I think he's at like 8 million or something, so he's not especially cheap. I think if he were like maybe at that 6 million mark, I would not be as hesitant to bring him in. But for 8 million, you do have a lot of other potential forward options or a ton of really strong midfield options. If you want to play like a 3-5-2 or something like that. So for me, it's kind of a wait and see, but he's also on my watch list, which brings me to my team selection. And I desperately need your help, guys. So this is my team tentatively. I have one free transfer going into this. I really don't know what to do. Like, I still have Salah. Obviously, he's out injured. We don't know exactly when he's going to be coming back. I think it's about 3 to 4 weeks, is what I've seen, but the game weeks are a bit spread out. So, do I just let him all of that money sit on my bench? I don't have so much invested in him. I think I have like 0.1 or 0.2, so I'm not super like upset to let him go. And then I think Trent should be fit for the Chelsea game, so I currently have him playing. Saka, I low-key want to sell. He has super high ownership, but I just feel like he hasn't been doing that much. Um, I need to get Holland back in eventually. I'm thinking, do I bring Richarlison in? Do I bring Gordon back in? Newcastle play Aston Villa, but then they have a really good run of Luton, Forest, and Bournemouth. So do I want to bring Gordon back into the mix? I just feel like my team is a bit of a mess, and I don't know how it got so messy. Like, I used to like it, and now I don't. So I don't know what to do.
So I think you're being more pessimistic because I think the team looks really good. I think you're ahead with Bowen, and the Bournemouth game is a really, really nice one. I was looking at Fantasy Football Hub's suggested AI wildcard, and I think, double check because I might be wrong, but I think they had Bowen as captain for this game week. And there are so many managers that transferred him out and obviously didn't expect him to be fit enough to play. And then he came back, and then hopefully this is the game week where he's just going to go big. And I'm nervous to not have him in my team. So I think you're already a step ahead there. And then I'd probably transfer out Salah because it's not sounding very promising about the injury. And I think at the moment, if he comes back, it will be after the first game of the predicted double game week for Liverpool. And I was really keen to have Salah for that double, but if he's only playing one fixture and potentially playing that fixture, it's too much of a question mark. So I'm going to transfer out Salah. I think you could probably do Salah. I do like the Richarlison idea. Also Jota, you could do a bit of a sideways move and still get the Liverpool assets. But then you've got a benching headache because I wouldn't want to bench Solanke or Watkins. Saka, I'm the same as you, but I've just spoken about how I don't really look at data, but I thought he's really fallen off this season, but his data is still really good. He's just not converting the goals. So I don't know whether Saka is just one that we have to wait on. Similar to I waited for Darwin for weeks and then finally got the 2 goals that I've probably missed out on so many points in the lead up to it. But I just feel like Saka is such a nailed player. He's on penalties. It's a risk to take him out, and especially with the ownership, which is really annoying because, again, I don't want to think about how many people are owning him, but it takes some joy out of the game. But the minute he gets a goal, your rank will just be awful, which is really frustrating. God knows how many places it would take us up. So I think it's really tough. I think looking at your defense, I would bench Porro, but then the attacking returns, it's tough because you can really rely on him. But I think I'd probably do Salah to Jota or Salah to Richarlison. But Salah to Richarlison feels a bit less of a priority if you've already got Porro. So I think you probably could just roll a transfer. But obviously, if you feel like you need to do something to your team, I completely understand.
I was thinking of just rolling the transfer because then I'm going to maybe want to get Holland in, and maybe I get another week's worth of data. But then I think, oh, am I not being like aggressive enough in my strategy? So I don't know. Like that was like the main. I was thinking the main thing is maybe just getting Salah out of my team and bringing somebody else in. But
I mean, another thing to factor in is the blank game week in 26, because Liverpool and Spurs and Chelsea are going to be blanking. So you could use a chip to deal with it anyway, but then that might put you off bringing in Jota or Richarlison for now, depending on what your chip strategy is going to be.
Yeah, I honestly haven't thought that far ahead into like the chip strategy, which maybe I should be.
I
Uh,
don't know. I'm
but
trying not to plan too far ahead because otherwise I get too pigeonholed on one strategy, and I think you do need to be quite flexible.
yeah, exactly. I tend to try to just like have a rough idea of like players that I really like and monitor them, but not I try not to make like too many knee-jerk decisions, but kind of have the idea. Okay,
Yeah.
Archie is falling down my legs. But let's get into your team. Maybe you'll give me some ideas. I really like the look of your team. Um,
Yeah, the captaincy, I don't think I will go for Saka. I think if I do Salah to Bernardo Silva, I'll probably put the captaincy on him for the Burnley fixture. But then who do I bench? It's really, really annoying. It will probably have to be. I don't know. I mean, I'm tempted to go Gordon because Newcastle away from home aren't as strong. But I mean, I think my gut instinct would be to bench Saka. But after everything I've just said about why he's a good asset to have, it feels too risky to do.
I feel like he hasn't been performing that well. Like,
I know.
my opinion, but it's so true what you said. Like, the second that you bench him and he does well. Okay, so he's gotten. I'm gonna just read off his game week. He
I
hasn't had
literally just searched.
3.72132588. That was game week 14 and 13. 52650. His last double digit haul was in game week 6
He's
versus
only had
Spurs.
2 double-digit hauls this season.
Yeah, so honestly, like I don't think that it is a risk benching him, but I was thinking of transferring him out because I was like,
Mm.
and
But then
trying.
this is one of those things where I'm kind of being a sheep, whereas actually the best thing to do for my team could be to just get rid of him. And then that will really help you because you'll probably bring in someone that's like, well, obviously less ownership than Saka, a bit more of a differential. It's really hard.
Mhm. Yeah, if I didn't have the Salah problem to deal with, well, you have Salah as well.
Hmm.
So I'm like either gonna roll the transfer or like take a -4, I think. Or maybe I'll just transfer out Salah. I don't know. But Saka's really annoying me in my team.
Yeah. I think the good thing is we've got a few days now until the deadline. So hopefully we'll get some more information, which never really helps, but it will in this case.
It never really helps. So who are you thinking of captaining then? If you bring in Bernardo Silva, are you definitely gonna go for him? What do you
Yeah.
think? Since he's a differential, like do you have any like more popular picks that the majority of people would have in their team?
I think other people will likely have Foden or Alvarez. And I think any City asset, really, I'd probably captain. I think, yeah, that would be top of my list. What are you thinking? Or potentially Brighton are playing Luton away. So maybe if you've got a Gross, you've got a Pedro, that could be quite fun, but I think that's risky.
The thing is, like, I don't know. I just hold grudges against these players, and I captained Foden last week, and he did nothing, and so I'm like super upset. I tentatively have the captain's armband on Palmer, which
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm gonna keep it there because it's a little bit bananas. Um,
Mm.
but he scored two in the League Cup. I need to see how Chelsea play in the FA Cup as well. Like we could potentially be very exhausted with all of the
Yeah.
football that we've been playing. Um, but I'm just gonna go back to my team to have a look. I was thinking Foden, but I wasn't happy that he blanked last game week. Bowen as well. I was kind of thinking, like Watkins hasn't been doing so well. He's another one that I was thinking about potentially transferring out of my team,
Mm.
maybe even bringing in Holland for Watkins because he hasn't been doing so much either. Um, so I think it would be those two, and I don't think I captained Trent 1 week and he did nothing, so I don't think I'm going to dare captain a defender again.
No, that's a huge risk, I think. I do like the Foden captaincy though. I think you should I think you got really unlucky because he's had attacking returns was it 4 weeks in a row or something ridiculous? And this was his first blank. But it was the curse. He was the most transferred in player, and then he blanked. So it's always the way.
It's always the way. So I think I'll probably end up going Foden in the end and then switch my captain and vice captain to what you see in this photo. But yeah, I definitely still have to have a think about what I want to do with my transfers. So if anybody has any ideas about what I should do, I'm all ears because I have not decided yet.
Help.
Help, SOS, please. Well, guys, hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm super excited that we've been back to recording again, and hopefully we'll be able to have our weekly videos back. So you're in a new space, you have a cool new setup now, so
I know, an actual microphone. It's so nice.
Oh man, I have a microphone and I didn't set it up because I'm not used to. I have this little table that is literally the size of my laptop and I have no place to put it. So I need to sort my setup as well. And well, just a little doggy on my lap.
I think you've got the best setup, to be honest.
He's keeping me warm, that's for sure. But guys, we're going to be going live on Yelena's channel. By the time you're watching this, it would have already passed, but go rewatch the live Q&A as well, because that should be pretty fun. Yeah, Yelena, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube and everywhere else at Yelena FPL.
I'm so jealous that you have the same thing everywhere.
Well, annoyingly, I don't for Instagram, but I've got so many friends and family on Instagram. I don't want to rebrand as a fantasy football content creator.
This is funny. Well, guys, hope that you enjoyed having us back. We're super happy to be back with you. If you did, make sure to follow Yelena, sub to her channel, and sub to my channel as well. While you're at it, we have lots of more content coming your way. Let us know with any fantasy questions that you have, and please pimp my team or whatever because I need it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time you're watching this. And until next time, we're out. Bye.
Bye.